you very much, Jay, for joining us on ET Now. We're joined by the Chief Technology and Product Officer of Flipkart Group, Jay Venugopal. They've recently launched an accelerator for startups called Flipkart Leap, and Jay's going to take us through the details. Jay, I just want to understand why now, what does Flipkart hope to achieve through this accelerator, and why should startups apply to you?
Hey Chandra, glad to be here, and I'll be happy to talk through the details of the program. So, as you know, Flipkart has been a success story in the Indian market as a startup, and is the most valued startup in the country. So, we believe that over the years, we have gained a lot of insights about our market, about our consumers, and we think that we can help turbocharge the ecosystem around us and the innovation that comes out of startups by being able to provide this sort of a structured platform to engage with them, and being able to coach them, mentor them, and help accelerate their journey. So that is the reason behind us setting up this Flipkart Leap Accelerator. This is the first time we are doing a structured program like this. Of course, we hope to be able to do several cohorts of this. And the way the program is structured is that any startup that is in the larger digital commerce ecosystem, it could be in user-facing aspects of the platform. It could be in logistics. It could be about applying deep tech or any emerging technologies like blockchain, IoT, AI. Especially in the logistics space, there are a lot of these startups as well. So in the larger digital commerce ecosystem, we are looking for startups that primarily are using tech and product as a pivot, and trying to disrupt the market in some way, and bring innovations to it. And we want to be able to partner with them, support them through giving them access to our in-house talent, as well as bringing ecosystem partners who can come and help us accelerate the journey of these startups. So that is the reason the startup should apply for our program.
Right. I noticed that as part of this, you're offering a 16-week mentorship and $25,000 of equity-free grants. So, if I'm a startup today, what should I do to make the cut?
So as long as you have actually a working product, so we are looking at startups that are in the digital commerce ecosystem, as I mentioned earlier, and we are looking for startups that have a working product. So the startups that are in the ideation or conception stage are probably a bit too early for us. And we are not also looking for startups that are already highly scaled and beyond, let's say, a Series B, for example, right? So we are looking for typically startups that have a working product, and they're looking to achieve product market fit, or maybe they've already achieved product market fit, but they're trying to achieve business model fit, and therefore trying various pivots around trying to work out the economics of their model. So any startup in this phase of their journey would be a perfect fit for our accelerator.
Right. Jay, this comes a year after Flipkart also launched a venture fund, if I remember. That venture fund size was $60 to $100 million. They had mentioned that they would be investing amounts of $2 to $3 million. Tell us how that has taken off and how that kind of ties in with this accelerator that you've launched.
I think it's a strategic fund. It's a strategic venture fund. Of course, we are a strategic investor, right? So we are not looking at investing in the ecosystem through that fund, primarily as a financial investment, but more as a strategic investment. So we are being very cautious and very qualified in who do we invest in, and we have done a few investments through the larger investment ecosystem that we have within the group. This program is not directly tied to that in any way. And this, of course, this $25,000 that we are providing as an equity-free grant stands on its own, and it's part of the Flipkart Leap program and not connected to the Flipkart Venture Fund in any way. But that said, once the startups go through and graduate from the program, and they do their demo day, and eventually at the end of it, if the startup feels that they're at a point in their journey that they would want to be considered and apply for investment of a larger quantum from the fund itself, the venture fund that we have, the internal balance sheet fund that we have, then we could definitely consider them. Of course, I mean, it will be a separate process with its own due diligence, and the investment thesis and the hypothesis should align with what that venture fund looks for. But these startups will definitely have a leg up compared to any other applicant into that, because we would have worked with these founders, the teams, we would know the product in a lot more depth, and therefore presumably we'll have more conviction on the team and the product, and in that way they would perhaps have a leg up when they do choose to apply for the venture fund as well. But there is no direct linkage
Right.
between them. There is no expectation that they will either apply for it or they will have to accept any investment from us, etc. This program in and of itself gives us $25,000 grant, which is completely equity free.
Right. And how is this also different from what Walmart has been doing through Walmart Labs? Again, is that going to be separate? Because we've seen them acqui-hiring some of the startups mentored or funded by them. So again, how is the approach going to be?
Yeah, I think Walmart has their own programs. I think Walmart will have its own separate corporate priorities, even beyond that of what they participate in the Indian market through their investment in us in the Flipkart group. And I'm sure they are also going to continue to work on helping with the larger ecosystem play in India. So we don't have any direct linkage between what Walmart Labs does with startups and this program per se. And of course, we have also been actually doing acquisitions, acqui-hires, and other investments into startups, and those things will continue. This is yet another structured avenue that we are putting in place to engage with the innovation ecosystem in India, and perhaps help the startup with some of the market insights and knowledge and talent that we have, that the startups may find valuable in their journey.
Right. Finally, as we wrap up, Palji, I have to ask you, how has it been running an e-commerce operation completely virtually in the last few months? You've also had sales in between, virtual boardrooms. So, what kind of learnings can you share from that? How has the whole experience been, and how are you gearing up for the upcoming festive season in terms of the technology back end and the product back end?
Yeah, great question, Chandra. I think it's been honestly a really enlightening experience. It has thrown up a lot of very, very interesting opportunities for us to reinvent ourselves in terms of how we work and the ways of working, right? And to our surprise, all of us have found that this remote way of working is equally productive, if not more productive, than even a business as usual day before all of this hit us, right? So, and teams have really rallied; they have stepped up, and we all got really inspired and supercharged by the fact that e-commerce was actually perhaps the one avenue that the country had and our consumers had to be able to get the things that they wanted to continue their daily life, right? So that sense of mission and purpose in fact increased even more, and we saw that our teams really went after it and brought a lot of innovations in a very, very short period to deal with this particular situation. And we are going to continue to do that, right? And of course, this is the first time we'll be running our Big Billion Day in a completely virtual form. So Big Billion Days usually is a big event in the company, as you would imagine, right? And of course, for the entire
Right.
country, it's a big event, right? And we used to have huge war rooms set up, and teams used to literally kind of be there 24/7 throughout the duration of the sale, to manage the systems and to be able to make sure that our customers are able to continue to access and enjoy the benefits of the sale. And we are really gearing up to do all of this virtually, and being that much more extra cautious about preparing our systems, our protocols, and our support infrastructure and all of that. And we are really geared up and looking forward to it, Chandra.
We look forward to it as well. In fact, we've actually spent midnights at Flipkart tracking it in person. I think we are going to miss that this year, the fact that we will not be there in person to watch all this happen in action. But it's also going to be extra competitive for you this year, Jay, because there are multiple players now in the ecosystem. So how are you gearing up for that? And will you also be kind of investing significantly in tech talent, product talent as you gear up for that big event?
Yeah, absolutely, Chandra. I think we think of ourselves and fashion ourselves as a tech and product led company, in the sense that we are a digital native company, and we know that the biggest lever that we have to disrupt traditional models of businesses and to deliver that extra value to consumers is by leveraging product and technology, right? And in that quest, the only big differentiator for any company with that sense of a vision and purpose is the talent, right? And as you know, talent in the high tech space, be it in data science or building beautiful UX or design, or in terms of building high scale systems, is actually a fairly niche talent, right? And so, COVID or not, we have always been looking at hiring the best talent to join us and be a part of our team, and we'll continue doing that. You also made a point about increasing competition in the ecosystem, which we always welcome. I think we know that as a digital commerce industry, overall, we have a long way to go compared to the offline commerce, right? And being able to bring those benefits to consumers is something that we believe we have a very clear value proposition to our consumers on. And we have been a homegrown India native company, and we have brought a lot of market specific innovations, and we will continue to do so, right? We are very, very squarely focused on our customers and not specifically on our competition, because we know that we have our very clear strategy and value proposition, and our consumers love us, and we'll continue to deliver for our consumers.
Right. In fact, it's been a pretty busy time for Flipkart because every week I see some announcement or the other on wholesale, on grocery, on, and this week, the accelerator. So before I wrap up, are you working with a target in mind on how many applications, you are finally going to sign off on, just to get an idea of, the first cohort, how many startups is it going to support?
Yeah. See, I think we don't have a fixed number, but we think that to make the actual program really immersive and meaningful, we cannot take a very large number of startups. Then we will not be able to do justice to them. So roughly, we are looking at maybe somewhere in the 6 to 8, or perhaps plus or minus 2, right? So that is the size of the cohort that we are looking at. And also, I think this is the first time we are doing the structured program, right? So we want to be able to learn from this process and then iterate on it. And perhaps for future iterations, we may have a different batch size or cohort size. But right now, this is what we are looking at, Chandra.
Right. On that note, Jay, thank you very much for talking to ET Now. It's been good connecting with you. Thank you very much for talking.
My pleasure, Chandra. Great talking to you.